Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the QueendomNation show where all things are royal and loyal. I am your host, Queen Chariel. And I hope everybody had a great and productive week. Hope that everything worked in your favor. And we hope that anything that you set out to do, that you were able to accomplish it. So, with that being said, welcome to the Queendom Nation show, guys. So today I want to talk about something really cool that I went to over the weekend here in the city of Salisbury. And if you were here this weekend, they had the amazing Cheerwine Festival here the weekend. And this year it was so many people there. They had some of everything going on out there. They had 100,000 people in attendance there. That was the largest event put on by the city of Salisbury. So kudos up to you guys. Some of the main attractions that they had this year at the festival, they had like live musical acts from a pop band called Neon Trees. They had lots of vendors there. They had a wide variety of food and crafts. They had a kid zone that was, attracted to families with the bounce house. They had a climbing wall. They had other attractions. They had like this sand pit where the little kids were in there playing with the sand. They also had face painting for the kids. I just hate I didn't get one of those funnel cakes because anybody know anything about me? I love funnel cakes, but while everything was good, the lines were kind of long because there were just so many people there. But I took my grandkids out there and we had a good time. And it was great to see the city come out and do something that we haven't been able to do in a long time, and it was attend the Cheerwine Festival. So if you are out in Salisbury this weekend and you got to experience that, I hope you had a fantastic time in the city. It was great. I enjoyed myself, but it was crazy because my after about 2 hours, my grandkids they had got a little tired and they didn't feel like walking anymore. So they was like, Grandma, I am ready to go. And so I told them because the lines were kind of long, they want some ice cream. So I took them out to get ice cream and some snacks and things after we left there. But it was a great, great festival. So I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I had a great time. Um, I always look forward to that festival when it comes to town. So it feels good that we were able to have that this year. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Just want you guys to know I've been, kind of dealing with a little bit of grief since my mother passed in January. And, if anybody has ever lost a parent, especially when it's still fresh, it's kind of hard to deal with. And some days are better than others. Some days you're up and you want to get up and you want to conquer the world, and then some days, you really get down in the dumps thinking about your mom or your dad or whoever has passed on. Um, so I just wanted to talk about some things as far as grief and how we can turn our wounds into wisdom. And so I chose that to be our topic this week, is to talk about how to turn wounds into wisdom, and how do we heal from hurt when we experience that level of pain. Um, and if you have never experienced that level of pain, I pray to God that you never have to, and if you do, that that it's an easy, smooth transition, and that you're able to get through it. But for people like myself, that feel grief in a different way, I just want to kind of talk to you about a few things about how we turn our wounds into wisdom. Okay. The first step that we have to do in turning our wounds into wisdom, guys, is we have to accept them. You know, losing my mom, I had to come to the realization that it was okay to not be okay. So thank you, Amanda, for keep pushing that into me, that it was okay for me not to be okay. So many times they teach us not to really deal with our grief and to kind of pray about it, which that's fine and it's okay. But when you're dealing with grief, sometimes you just have to hit it head on, and you have to deal with it. Um, you have to accept it. Don't act like it's not there. because the moment we act like it's not there, it's the moments that it continues to really bother us, okay? So instead of trying to ignore it and numb your pain, we need to face it head on, guys. And that's what I've been doing. I've been writing blogs talking about my mom. This is another entity where I can sit and I can talk to other people that have experienced what I have experienced. And it's gonna be difficult, guys, and it doesn't matter, how difficult it gets. It's necessary that we want to try to move on, or should I say move forward, because moving on can be very difficult, especially when you've lost a loved one. um, and once we've accepted our wounds, we can start to look for the lessons that they have to teach us, okay? And so in losing my mother, the lesson that I got out of that is the things that she taught us growing up, and everything that she instilled in us as young women, and with my brothers as a young man. And so I had to think about the lessons that she taught and how do I take what she taught and be able to move on, um, from that. Okay. So every wound that happens to us, you guys, it teaches us something. Whether it teaches us about ourselves, whether it teaches us about the world around us, or whether it teaches us both, whether it teaches us about ourselves or the world around us. We've learned that the stronger that we are, that in those times are when we become the strongest. Okay. So we've learned, and when you're dealing with grief and things like that, one thing I had to learn is that I can't control everything. I can't control losing someone, and I can't control and I can control how I respond to it. But we have to learn that a lot of things that we just cannot control. Death is a part of life. And sometimes we have to learn to let go of things, and we have to trust the process of how we're dealing with those things, okay? Whatever the lesson is that you learn from your grief and for whatever you're going through, it's up to us to take it to heart and use it to grow. And so with my mother's passing, what I've learned is that she wouldn't want me to be down. She would want me to get up and continue to live. And while it may hurt, because losing someone hurts, and no matter how we look at it, it hurts. But I know that she would want me to get up and take the lessons that she taught me and continue to grow and continue to be productive in what I was doing, as far as helping my life be better and also helping the people that I mentor and that I reach on a daily basis. Um, when we turn our words into wisdom, we use our experience to help others. And so this is now a platform for me to help anybody else that is dealing with grief, or maybe we can help each other get through the rough time, because when we've been through something difficult, we can use what we've been through to help other people that are going through the same thing that we've gone through. We can lean on each other, and we can talk about the things that we go through. We can lend a listening ear. We can share our own stories, and we can offer practical advice, what we did to get through it, to help somebody else get through what they're going through. Okay. And what I've learned is that when we help others, we make a positive impact on their lives, but it also reinforces the lessons that we have learned and solidify them in our own minds. So when we go through things and we make an impact, when we help other people, when we take what we've been through and be a testimony for somebody else that is going through the similar things that we've been through, okay? Um, it's important that we know that turning our wounds into wisdom is not going to be a one-time thing, because life throws so many different things at us. And so it's an ongoing process that requires constant reflection and growth. Okay. So when you're going through stuff, it's not going to be perfect all the time, and things are going to come, but we have to learn how to trust the process, and how to know that in the end everything is going to be okay. But we have to deal with these things, okay? We are going to have setbacks, guys. We're going to have struggles. We're going to lose people along the way, and that's just life. That's just how life does us. But we have to stay committed to learning and growing. Okay, we can't let it get us down because that's what I was doing. Losing my mom, I was just letting it just get me down. I was, kind of sad and kind of depressed. And I know it's okay for me to feel that, but I don't want to stay there. Okay. I want to take what I've been through and what I've experienced with her death and turn my words and my wounds into wisdom and become a powerful source of wisdom for other people to know that I got through this so I can help somebody else get through it too. Okay. So I just want to say if you're going through a hard time right now, just remember it's not the end of the road, guys. It's not. You have the power to turn your wounds into wisdom and to create a brighter future for yourself. Okay. Accept what has hurt you. Look for the lessons that it taught you and use your experiences to help others. Okay. And one thing I'm starting to learn with time and with patience and with perseverance, you can turn things around and you can create a life that is full of meaning and that is full of purpose. Okay. And instead of us asking, why did this happen to me? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And see, that was the one thing that I was struggling with because I was like, oh, my mom died. Why did this happen to us? We didn't expect her to go. And when you lose a loved one, you don't be ready for them to go. And it doesn't matter how hard you try to hold on, it's you just don't be ready for them to leave you. But one thing I had to ask myself is in losing my mom and her passing, what did I learn from that experience? What did it teach me? You know, how can I take that wound and turn it into wisdom for somebody else? Okay. So I just want to tell you a few tidbits of information. So question this. How would you describe your life today? Is your life full of joy? Is it full of sadness? What has changed in your life since yesterday? How often do we think about that? The truth is that none of us live a perfect life, guys. None of us do. And it's the wounds that make the difference in how we see ourselves and others. Okay. When you feel wounded by an interaction with another person, whether it's real or whether you imagine it, sometimes it can be difficult to let go of those thoughts and those feelings and move on. Just like with grief, it's hard to let go of somebody that you loved, and especially a parent. How do you let them go? You know, but what you have to do is you have to turn those lessons. You have to learn some valuable lessons from the experience. Okay. Those experiences come to teach us different things, whether it teaches you to value life more, whether it teaches you to let mom and dad know every day that you love them more, hug them and spend time with them. um and unless you acknowledge what happened and you release those emotions are going to continue to hurt you. Okay. So we can deal in grief and everything, but at some point we have to know if it's really taking us down, that we're gonna have to deal with it, become one with it and understand it. And then we're gonna have to just kind of let it go a little bit so that we can live, okay? Wounds come to make you stronger, guys. When you lose a parent or you lose someone, it makes you the strongest person. You don't even know how strong you are until you're in the realm of going through that. Okay. I don't mean when I say your wounds make you strong, I don't mean that you have scars or like you even got battle wounds, guys. I'm talking about like hardships that life brings us. You know, those things that just seem a little too big for us at the time. But what we don't realize is those be the very thing that bring us closer together. Okay. So the wounds in life, they provide opportunities for us to develop things such as patience, endurance, humility, forgiveness, and compassion, and gratitude, and perseverance, and hope, and faith, and love, and joy, and fortitude, and kindness, and generosity, and modesty, and selflessness, and honesty, integrity, mercy, and wisdom. These are the qualities that will enable you to overcome any change in your life, guys. Okay? Again, I want to tell you that your wounds make you stronger. With anything in life, guys, there are always risks involved. Something is always going to happen. Those are the times when dealing with your hurtful experience can either help you or they can hinder your growth. Okay? When you're dealing with a lot, you have to understand, like, am I going to stay here? Because if I stay here, especially if you're already sad and you're depressed, if you stay here, what that's going to do for you, for one, it's going to do something to your health. Your health is going to start becoming impacted by it. Sadness brings on health problems. Okay. And I'm not saying that you can't be sad or anything like that, or you're not allowed to feel emotion. But what I'm saying is, when we go through something that hurts us, we tend to carry that hurt, and that hurt becomes a part of who we are becoming, whether we mean it to or not. It just does. So we have to understand how to channel that hurt. Okay. We have to learn that without pain and without hurt, that there is no gain for us. Okay. Pain is necessary for growth, and it is necessary for development, because pain teaches us, how to take what we've been through and to learn from it and become a better version of ourselves, guys. It gives us perspective, it gives us strength, it gives us courage, and it gives us character. Okay. Wisdom, believe it or not, it requires hard work, guys, and it requires the ability for you to be able to see yourself a little bit more clearly than you've been seeing yourself. And that's what I've been through, like a lot of reflection since my mom died. Just understanding me more, understanding, what I should do with my life now, and where I should take my life to, and what direction that we need to go in. Understanding the things that she taught me, and how can I take what she taught me and make it beneficial not only to my future but to the futures of others. Okay. If you constantly try to avoid painful situations because you don't want to face fears, guys, then you will never ever grow emotionally and spiritually. It's the pains that we go through, it's the hurt that we go through that shapes who we are as an individual. And not only the things that we go through, but it's how we deal with those discretions as we think they are. But they're really what I like to call life's lessons or life's teachable moments. And while I'm giving advice and giving information, I'm also taking heed myself, because as I'm teaching you guys these things and talking to you guys about these different things, I'm learning as I go along too. I'm not perfect. I'm only human. And so I want to talk to you about what it feels like. If you're running away from your pain, guys, instead of facing it head on, you are never, ever, ever going to understand why you made certain choices in the past. Okay? The purpose of your healing and healing your wounds is to not ease your life history, guys, but it's to understand why you did what you did. Okay? It's important for us to recognize the damage done to us and to not live in it. Okay? It's important to understand the damage that we do to our mind and to our heart and to our bodies and to our souls when we don't deal with and accept grief and pain. Okay? Your wounds only make you strong if you take responsibility for them. And I know it's crazy to say, but you have to be strong through any type of adversity and rise like the phoenix through it all. Because you would never know that your story may impact somebody that was in the same situation as you, and trying to find a better way to heal and deal with what they're going through. Okay, so I want to say it again: without pain, there is no gain. Okay, so don't take pain as a negative thing. Take it as a learning step. Take it as it's necessary for development. I'm gonna say that again. And I'm going to say again that it gives us perspective, it gives us strength, it gives us courage, and it gives us character. It shapes who we are. Okay? I want to talk to you about the 9 stages of grief, because some of you that are listening to the show today have been experiencing, and I have been. Let's talk about the shock and denial. This the first impact is this cannot be happening to me. That's the first thing that we think when we go through stuff. This is not happening to me. And then it channels into a disorder where it's like, I just can't deal with this. I just cannot. And then we go through that emotion of anger. Why me? Why not somebody else? Why am I going through this? And then it goes to guilt and bargaining. If I had only done this different. Okay. And then we go to the stress. And then the distress is where you're not eating, where you're not sleeping, where you're constantly running this back through your mind. You know, the shock, the disorder, the anger, the guilt, and the bargaining. Then you go through the depression, which is the phase I'm in right now. Like, what am I without them? What am I supposed to do now? And then once you go through that, you go through the loneliness. What should I do without them? And then you go through withdrawals and you want to give up. And that's the one thing you can't do. Because after the withdrawal comes acceptance. Now you're in a position where you can accept the pain and the hurt and the wounds. And you now can come to the conclusion of, I can change it. In your mind, you're telling yourself that you can't change it, but you really can change it. If you just take the time to think about it and to deal with the hurt and the wounds that you've been subjected to. Okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why healing your wounds is important, guys. Why we have to heal in order to move on. One is that we have to become a better person. Okay? I don't know if you're like most people spend most of their lives trying to escape from themselves. That's why people do drugs. That's why people drink. That's why people indulge in food. That's why people in unhealthy relationships. That's why people dabble in sex and money and fame and power. Because they're trying to escape who they really are instead of dealing with who they are and the wounds that life has dealt them. Most people spend a lot of their lifetime making excuses for who they think they should be rather than accepting who they really are. By taking responsibility for your actions, you become free to change and improve your behavior. Okay? We need to have clarity as human beings. So as humans, we struggle with doubt and fear, guys. A lot of us do it. For most of us, we try to hide our weaknesses and we try to hide our flaws. But this causes confusion about who we are and what others think who we are. Okay? When you finally stop hiding behind the mask and accept yourselves as you truly are, you gain clarity. And you know how to behave and react in different situations. Okay? This enables you to look so much more objectively at your own shortcomings, guys, and resolve issues arising from your past. Because that's what a lot of us deal with these days. A lot of us are still healing and dealing with things from our past that we have not accepted. And I'm just here to tell you, stop hiding behind that mask and accept who you are and gain clarity so that you can know how to act in certain situations. Okay? All right, let's talk about creating balance. Healing hurts. We're not going to deny that. Some of these pains run deep, guys, and they stay there forever if we let them. But as you move towards progress and you move towards healing and you move toward wholeness, other problems can surface and that need to be healed as well. Because when you're dealing with one problem, oftentimes those other problems that you didn't realize were there, they start coming to the surface. And so while you're dealing with that one problem, here comes this other one. But see, we have to learn how to deal with them all and get them all under control. Okay? The key to this whole thing, what I'm telling you guys, is to not avoid your pain, but learn how to handle it, even with grief, even with depression, even with sadness. You have to learn how to handle it. When you allow yourself to grieve over your losses and disappointments in life, you will find peace. Okay? Allow yourself to grieve, but just don't stay there. I'm telling myself the same thing because I have allowed myself to grieve over my mom, but I refuse to stay there. Okay? My goal is to get up and be who I'm destined to be in spite of losing her. When you come to terms with different types of regrets in your life, you make new room for possibilities and you inspire yourself to live every day more abundantly than you did the day before and fully to the best of your ability. Okay? Guys, we got to accept that healing is a process. It is not something that is done overnight, so we can't expect change overnight after we have been through something traumatic. Okay? And just like healing has stages, any illness needs to be treated in stages, guys. And so does healing yourself. Accepting that healing is a process means you have to be patient, guys. Recognize your current state of health and your current state of mind and work out strategies to help you move forward. Affirmations, journaling, talking to your friends, counseling, whatever it takes to help you deal with and cope so that you can move forward and live a productive life. Okay? Remember, please remember this, and I'm telling myself the same thing. Remember, guys, that it does take us time to heal. Okay? Especially when you've lost someone that you love. We cannot expect immediate results. See, that's where we mess up because we think we can grieve and go through pain today and just be healed tomorrow. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay? It's going to create a whole nother setback for you if that's the way you're trying to do. Okay? So I want you guys to think about why healing your wounds is important. Okay? One is so that you can become a better person. Two is so that you can have clarity. And three, so that you can create balance within your life. Okay? Healing hurts. We know it. We know it. It's a painful experience to heal from trauma and to heal from wounds of the past and of the future. But we have to decide on ourselves. Are we going to be resilient? And are we going to rise like the phoenix no matter what is thrown at us? And are we going to have the patience to help us build our character back up so that we can become the people that we set out to be before this incident happened to us? Okay? Understand how to turn your wounds into wisdom. Reach out to others that have been through the same thing that you've been through so that you guys can help one another to heal the things that you've been through and the pain that you've experienced. Okay? So I want to thank you for tuning into the Queendom Nation show this week, where our topic was turning wounds into wisdom. So I want to tell you our Queendom quote of the day. And our Queendom quote of the day is this: do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Again, our Queendom quote of the day is this: do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. All right. I want you guys to check me out on CharielDye.com, and that's CharielDye.com. On there, you can see different episodes of the Queendom Nation show. I also write a blog, the Queendom Nation blog. You can go on there and check out my blog. You can also buy my book, Women in Entrepreneurship: How Do We Beat the Odds, which is on Amazon. If you look up Women in Entrepreneurship on Facebook, I'm there. If you look up Minette Numi Smith, Minnette Numi Smith, you can actually see the recorded live versions of the show. Also, the Queendom Nation radio show on Facebook also has the videos of the live versions of the show. Guys, if anybody's looking for an interview space, or if you're looking for commercial space, please reach out to me. I would love to have you on the Queendom Nation show. So thank you for tuning in every week. I hope you guys have a productive week. I hope that everything you set out to do works in your favor. And I thank you so much for being loyal and royal fans of the Queendom Nation show. And if anybody would like to join the Regal Elegance National Pageant, please let me know. Please email me at CharielD40@gmail.com, and that's CharielD40@gmail.com. I will send you all the information you need if you would love to be part of the Regal Elegance family, along with me and my sister queens here in North Carolina. But I look forward to talking with you guys next week. I hope you have a great week. And thank you so much for tuning into the Queendom Nation show with your host, Queen Chariel.